Therapy horse training, the basics. The following information is just based on pet partners' standards and definition of what pet therapy is, and here are the benefits real quick. My name is Lindsay, and I've trained 2 therapy horses, Muffin and Mila, that are both registered with pet partners, and we go all throughout the community educating on mental wellness and drug awareness messaging through the fire department. Kat is working with Mila on the basics of therapy horse training so she and Mila can be a therapy team. We figured we'd film a few videos showing you the basics of what therapy work is and how to do that. Before you even think about taking your horse off property, how are their ground manners at home? How is the groundwork? So in this clip, Kat is working for Mila to read her energy and her intention by getting to trot. And it's not really about lunging, it's more about Mila learning Kat's way of communication, since when I lunge Mila, might communicate a little bit differently with her. And reading that nonverbal communication and body language. Something that's really big in pet therapy is your horse being able to read what you want. Like right there, she asked her to turn in, and now she's going to ask her to go the other direction. And you can see this way, she's kind of a lot more like, oh, that's what you want. Because I might do things a little bit different than Kat. So the main thing is just, can your horse understand your communication? Just that request of like, can you go forward a little bit more? Here she's putting a little more pressure to trot, just like that. And Mila picks up the pace, and then she's going to ask her to come back down a little bit. And can Mila come back down? Because sometimes horses get really excited because it's just too much pressure. She has to come back down and stop. So it's not really about the lunging part. It's more about just that communication. Here she's asking for ground tying. In the evaluations, it's called stay. So basically you cue your horse to stay, and you stand still for 10 seconds, and then you come back to your horse and break the stay and walk on. And the horse can move one leg during that and still be a pass. So can your horse ground tie like that with you holding the end of the lead rope? Here, she's going to ask Mila to back up. And backing up's a really important skill because in a indoor setting, there could be some offices or a doorway or a patient's room where the horse can't turn around. So you want them to be really confident. She's doing an indirect backup, which is wiggling the rope, but you can also do directly back up where you slide your hand up and put pressure on the halter, and then she releases. The next thing you have to do is, how are you going to get your mini to where you're going? So how is your mini with trailer loading? Do you have a trailer to take them or some way? You can see Mila just jumps up right on there. It's no problem. And then just tying and securing Mila in the trailer, just making sure your horse is super comfortable with that. This next part is the handling of the feet. When you and your horse go to get evaluated, the person who is evaluating will pick up your horse's feet and making sure your horse is comfortable with that. Another thing we'll have to make a video on is footwear inside, because horses typically slip. But you can see that Mila got a little nervous and stepped forward, and Kat kind of reassured her there. And then just making sure the horse is super comfortable, people walking behind. You might want to pick up their feet kind of clumsily because sometimes the evaluators aren't used to horses. So just making sure they're used to that. So just to let Mila know she did a good job. We don't want any kicking or anything. That would be a failure, and that would not be good. The next skill we're going to show is part of the team evaluation is someone coming up and hugging your horse and kind of like doing a restraining. So I asked if I can pet. It's really important to give instructions on how it's best to hug the horse. And then I give her kind of a restraining hug and rubber, and just make sure your mini or horse is super comfortable with that. Good girl. Once you feel good about these skills, the next steps is trailering to little visits in the community to see how you and your horse do, and then tackling potty training.
Hi, I'm Kat. I work as a therapist, and I am working to take the team evaluation with Mila. Thanks for watching our content. Be sure to follow and like us at the Hoofbeat Ranch page.